that has died from taking even a large amount of marijuana, although I don't recommend this. It is a drug, and the effects increase with the dosage, and if you take very heavy dosage you have bad effects. But certainly nobody has ever, even animals have not been able to be killed with marijuana, and the bad effects need a very high dosage. Unless you're psychotically inclined, they will increase that sort of thing. And there's it has this sedative effect. If I say you want to do it somewhere where it doesn't matter if you get quietened and sleepy, also you have no hangover. Likewise, it's not non-addictive. I think there are physical effects, but they're not very dangerous. You do have psychological effects, and it's a social drug. If you want to get a high for some reason or another, it's reasonably safe. But as with any drug, if you take too much, you will have bad effects from it.
Well, what steps is the Dope Smokers Union going to take to legalise marijuana?
Well, we want to work on two areas. One is a crisis. We are terribly upset about the fact that the police are still raiding, have still the power to raid and still are raiding people for this offence and searching people. The people are in prison for smoking cannabis. You can get the same penalty for assault. If I hit you over the head with a brick, I would be liable. I could be sentenced to the same penalties as I would by smoking cannabis by myself and causing no one any other harm than that. That prison, of course, the idea that a person can be rehabilitated is a fallacious one. Obviously, to send a cannabis smoker to prison does absolutely no good for either party at all. So we must get people out of prison straight away and realise that prison sentences were not going to solve any problem at all.
Well, how well did you do out of your dope dealing?
Well, overall, over a 2-year period, myself and a partner probably made about $15,000–16,000.
And how old were you then?
I was 20.
Have you any idea how much dope is being smoked in Australia at the moment?
It's very difficult to estimate. I would say that it is actually in use in secondary schools, and in some cases it's quite common. At tertiary institutions like this one, it's very common. I'd say anything between 100,000 to 600,000 people are regular smokers.
Where does most of the grass sold in Australia come from, do you think?
Now it's grown here. It used to be imported, but unfortunately customs have got a little bit more efficient than what they used to be with their dogs and that. A lot of it's grown in Queensland, a lot of it's grown in New South Wales.
Do you have any regrets about your involvement with selling drugs now?
None at all, no. It's an exciting experience.
I presume that you've already smoked dope yourself. Can you describe what kind of effect it has on you?
The general thing is to make a person more passive, to become more relaxed, a little more introspective, and certainly this is one of the greater benefits of the drug. It certainly does not lead to a breakdown of inhibition normally, as say alcohol would do. So in the case of a person would not necessarily be more promiscuous than it would have been in the first instance. And it certainly does not lead to violence. This is a common misunderstanding of cannabis. Cannabis is not like other drugs. It's quite different. The people that take it are quite different than takers of other harder drugs.
What kind of people are they?
Well, they're generally middle-aged businessmen, school children, a whole breadth of spectrum of people in different areas. And it's the very effects of the drug. It is not addictive. It is less addictive, much less addictive than tobacco or alcohol is. And the fact that it relaxes people and people can examine themselves in a more pure sort of mind than they would have normally. This is not directly related, but I hope it would explain to people that this is not a narrow sector of the community that's pushing something. It is a matter of civil rights, and it's a matter of bringing forward a grossly neglected area. I was an officer in the Army. I served 18 months in Vietnam, and I still march on Anzac Day, and I still have very good friends in the Army, which I value their friendship a great deal. It is not only, there are also people in the Army that smoke, and we've had a letter from several people that also smoke, and we would like also to bring the Army and the police force into contact so that they can more easily handle that situation.